Hello and welcome to another Beard Clubber video. If you're not yet subscribed and you do enjoy my content, please do consider subscribing, and also don't forget to ding the bell and select all so that whenever one of my videos goes live, YouTube does tell you about it. This video is the next in my series of videos for airbrushes for absolute noobs like me. And it's a little different this time. It's not actually me necessarily using the airbrush as much. It's answering a question that someone asked me about the airbrush booth that I've bought. And that is, just how loud is it? So what I've done is I've downloaded an app, and you can see it here ticking away, picking up the decibels of my speaking voice. And I'm going to be comparing the noise that the airbrush makes and the airbrush and the booth running together makes with several other things that I have around the house. So let's get that done, and then at the end we can graph it and we can see exactly where the noise level of my equipment sits. I need a cup of tea, so I'm going to boil the kettle, and while I'm doing it I'm going to record the decibels, and we'll see what that comes up as. So let's go. Thomas is my truck. We're going to find out how loud he is when he is turned on. Andrea's going to help me out. She's going to be my capable assistant, starting Thomas. So let's get her in the car and get the measurement device out, and let's see what it says. Now we're going to find out just how loud a chainsaw is when it starts up. So let's get that done. Okay, so I'm about to do some airbrushing. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the decibel meter now and pick up the how loud, first of all, this is, which is the airbrush booth with the extractor fan, and then how loud the pump is on that as well. So let's just see what happens. I have my monitor here, my app here, so let's turn this on and let's start recording. Unfortunately, I'm just going to get in the way when I do this, so let's turn this on. Well, let's run both. So we'll start the fan, and then I'll start the pump, and then I will start recording this. This on. Unfortunately, I'm just going to get in the way when I do that. By way of contrast, Rosie had a tantrum. She has them. She's a very good girl, but she does have tantrums. And while I was obviously being a caring dad and calming her down and doing the right thing, I also grabbed my decibel meter app on my phone and thought I'd just see just how loud she got. So, here you can see. There we are, that was interesting, wasn't it? Let's have a look at these stats, what I recorded. I'll pop a graph on the screen now, and so you can see what I'm talking about, and we'll discuss what it means. But before I do that, I do just want to say that most of this was a bit of fun. The difference in the decibel levels is more influenced by a thing called the inverse square rule, which you go and look up if you want to, because I was at such varying distances from the sound source when I was recording the sound pressure levels. So just bear that in mind, bit of fun, but the important thing was that the one that I really cared about, I did pay attention to my distances. So let's have a look at what the stats say. So first of all, and most amusingly, the loudest thing that I recorded was Rosie having a tantrum at nearly 82 decibels at max and an average of just over 73. That's louder than I recorded the chainsaw. Now obviously, when Rosie was having a tantrum, I was very close to her because I was comforting her with the phone recording next to me for the bit of a giggle. And the chainsaw, I was a good 10 foot away because Angela didn't really want me running at her with a live chainsaw. However, that does make me smile. The thing that did surprise me was that the airbrush is actually quite loud and the extraction fan is even louder, and I was a bit surprised by that. However, the key takeaway from this, and the reason why I did this, was to compare using an airbrush and an extractor tank together with boiling the kettle. Now, I've got a young child, obviously, and the biggest concern that parents probably have with airbrushing is it not going to disturb my child if I do it at night? Now, do you think about that when you're boiling the kettle? If you don't care and you boil the kettle anytime you like, it's about the same volume as the extraction fan and the airbrush running together. The maximum decibels for a kettle was 76.4 and the maximum decibels for both running together was 74.4. And I was very careful there to keep my distances about the same. So that's what really matters here. It's about the same noise as a boiling kettle, a cheap kettle that's noisy, but still it is about the same size. So there we are. Well, I hope you found that interesting. I certainly enjoyed doing those. I certainly enjoyed running around with the chainsaw. And it was interesting to see that the stats did come out around what I thought, though it was more noisier than I expected. I thought the kettle was going to be far noisier than that kit. But the other thing to say, obviously, is that most of the time that airbrush compressor is not going to be running if you've got one with a tank, which you should have. Anyway, I'll wrap that up now. That's long enough for a bit of a fun video. I hope that's been useful. Please comment below if you've got any thoughts or any concerns or criticisms of this video, or anything to say nice about it, which would be really nice as well. Or if you've done anything similar, and let me know what your results were. And if you're not yet a subscriber, as I always say, I'd love to see those subscription numbers. It does inspire me. And don't forget to ding the bell so that whenever one of my videos goes live, YouTube does tell you, because it doesn't otherwise, not all the time anyway. And I will wrap up and close out by saying thank you so much for watching, and please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.